This Sunday. Every Sunday. Side by side at the microphone from the green light to the speed trap. Chris Switzer and Ray Garino calls them as they sees them, and you better believe them. Here! Relevant news, biased opinions, and outright bullshit regarding every aspect of automotive culture. Gas, but mechanical trickery never before revealed over FCC-regulated airwaves. Thrill to the explosive tension as Chris and Ray cuss each other down the track and barrel roll across the finish line, laughing at certain disaster as they shake hands for the devil. All that and much more this Sunday at high noon on the Motormouth Radio Hour. Call in and speak live with the Wizards of Speed and live feed, Chris Switzer and Ray Garino. Bring the whole family. Kids under 12 get in free. Every Sunday at noon on WHPC. Take the Long Island Expressway to the Meadowbrook Parkway and look for the sign saying no parking on the expressway and no express service on the parkway. Go right on Highway 24 to Garden City. $2 all-day parking includes pit pass. Sunday!
Los Angeles weather.
Low overcast tonight, low around 58, mostly sunny tomorrow with a high near 68. No smog, beaches now 62, Valley 66, downtown 65, Orange County 66.
That was a fast ending. All right. I'm on our way back into work here, folks, after a nice little vacation. You've turned into Motormouth Radio, Long Island's only automotive talk show with your hosts Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer right here in the beautiful island of Long and the Rock of Connecticut.
Yes, we are. And it's good to see you back once again in the air chair, doing what you do best, playing Los Angeles weather forecasts, which is...
Well, yeah, this actually isn't what I do best, but it's just something I do on Sundays.
It's what you do. Exactly. It's the voodoo that you do.
Exactly.
But I'm glad we're back here at Motormouth Radio, just a fine, upstanding piece of automotive knowledge. And we're talking to you, all of you. Yes. You think anyone else would be listening to this? Probably not. No.
Both of them.
Yeah, right. All two of them.
We are live this week. Last week we did a replay with Alana and Tom, which I thought was a great show.
It was.
Not a lot of people watched it on YouTube. I wish they would have, or listened to it on YouTube. If you'd like to do that, if you want to catch up, YouTube is Motormouth Radio, Motormouth Video. Both channels work. Or Motormouth Radio on X and Facebook, and real_Motormouth Radio on Instagram. But give us a call, 516-572-7440. Do we have a text line, Chris?
Yes, we do. You can text us at 203-670-4127. And you can listen to old Motormouth Radio shows on CarCraft Media. We don't have 3 new ones this week. We should have them by this evening. So surprises galore if you go to it later on. But
listen, people aren't listening to the current ones. What makes you think they want to listen to the old ones?
Hey, we're giving it a shot here.
That's what we call this show. It's giving it a shot radio.
Right. We're drawing at straws here. I mean, we definitely have faces for radio.
Yep.
And my background doesn't change.
So while I was away, did you do any car work? Anything worthy of
Yes,
note?
I did. Holy moly. I have a neighbor that's literally within walking distance of the house, a 3-minute drive. And she, by chance, has a Triumph TR6 sitting in her garage.
Oh,
so one day she rolled up in front of my driveway on her bicycle, and she said, "Do you still have that TR6?" And I said, "No." I says, "It's gone." And she said, "Who was your mechanic? Who did you bring your car to get repairs?" And I said, "You're talking to him." I'm the guy. So to make a long story short, she had a parasitic draw.
Oh boy!
On the car if she let it sit.
She had an English car. What a surprise!
Exactly. So we were able to, with a couple of visits and a multimeter and a test light, I was able to figure out that it was the alternator. The alternator seemed to have been. There's a diode in there.
Well, there's several, but
yeah. Well, basically, they will they will draw current from the battery. And the funny thing about it, as we did the research, is you don't see this. It doesn't show it to you on a multimeter. That basically could be the problem if you don't get any symptoms on the multimeter and you don't see any parasitic draws. So we basically took a shot in the dark, and I said, look, I'm going to unplug the alternator and let it sit. Give it a couple of days. I'll test the battery, see if it's fully charged. And I tested it, then unplugged the alternator and went away until like 3 days. And she reached out to me. She said, okay, come on back. Said the lights are on, and she says the horn works, right? Yeah. So I went back, tested the battery. It was the exact same level it was when I walked away from it on that Sunday.
Okay.
And we determined that just get the alternator rebuilt, see what happens, and that's what we did. Wow.
I was just talking about this with Kilowatt Kevin yesterday as we sat in White Castle, enjoying a little respite.
You enjoyed something in White Castle? Enjoyed something.
Absolutely. And we were talking about different cars and rebuilding, and alternators came up, and I explained to him, because Kevin knows electric. He worked on high current, high power stuff,
right,
with the power company. And I did the automotive stuff and house stuff. So I explained to him on Mike from the shop, Mike's Trans Am, when he got it, it developed a charging problem. And they thought it was the regulator. It's an internal regulator, 12SI Delco. Sure. And I'm trying to remember back now, because it's probably about 5-6 years ago. I didn't think it was the regulator. And I said, you know what? I got a feeling. There was a slight smell coming out of the alternator. Something burned. And I said, no, I think it's the rectifier is what the problem is.
You never want your rectifier problem. You never want that.
So quickly, we're not going to get into a master class here because people wouldn't understand. An alternator is actually an AC, 3-phase AC unit. And the rectifier is what converts AC to DC and gives you your output.
Wrecked him, it nearly killed him.
So if you don't have an output, you're one of the things you look at. So
that's the whole thing for your rectifier. Give you some good output.
So I did pull it apart at the bench, and I saw some telltale signs. And then the rectifier is it's like 2 stacks of aluminum finned aluminum, and the diodes are in the center. There's 3 diodes in there, power diodes. And you lift the diode legs, you can split the thing apart, which I did. And then no one does that. They just throw it away, put a new one in. But I took it apart, like, of course, I always do.
Because you're nuts.
And basically what I found was burned diodes. They literally and that was the smell. That was the burn. Okay. So
the epoxy, I'm assuming, that epoxy-like smell.
The actual diodes themselves. I'll show you.
Plastic.
That'll be my lead picture on YouTube, because we just talked about it yesterday.
That's hysterical.
And here we are today, you bringing it up, and it was the same exact thing. Do you know, let me ask you, do you know what type of alternator is on the Triumph? Is it a Lucas?
It is a Lucas. The thing was, the car that I was working on was in incredibly good shape. And the woman that owned it was kind of...
Was she in good shape?
She was in good shape, but she was a little perturbed because the alternator that was in the car was a Lucas, but they yanked it out. Some mechanic yanked it out and replaced it with a generic Lucas-looking alternator.
Look at the top of this picture. You see the thing with all the fins?
Yeah, it's a heat sink.
That's the rectifier.
Oh, okay.
And those posts in the center are where the diode trio, which is that little black box right under it.
Right.
The trio is a series of 3 diodes, hence the name trio. Each one protecting each of those 3-phase circuits.
Okay.
And the trio's job is a diode just lets current flow one way, not the other. It's a valve.
Right. That's all it does.
When one of those diodes blows out by either an overcurrent situation or age or whatever, that backfeeds and turns the light on the dash. So you see alternator light or battery light. Oh, you need a new alternator. No, that's what happened with Eddie's 442. His light was on, but the car was charging. I said, no, he needs a trio. And I had one at home. I put it in, 13-cent part, and voila.
Son of a gun. So it's amazing, right?
Let me show you now the and I'll put these pictures up. Here is the rectifier out of the car on the bench.
Wow.
Doesn't
Now,
look doesn't
how
look
big?
bad.
No, it doesn't. How big is that? It's like a
Well,
postage stamp,
no, like I said,
bread
okay,
box.
you know how big a GM alternator is,
Sure.
right? So I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a melon.
So that's how it fits inside the case. So it's
Oh,
yeah,
okay. So
maybe
that's the entire case of the alternator. What
that's
we're
the
looking
back
at.
half. Yeah.
Got it. So
So
it's like
maybe
a
it's 4 inches by an inch and
pack
a
of
half.
gum, book of matches.
Okay, so once I split the rectifier in two, you can see the diodes.
Wow,
The one on the
painful.
bottom fell apart. I mean, they're all burned.
Yes.
That was the smell. So,
Mm.
uh, all alternators do the same thing. They just maybe use a little different component, a little different componentry or whatnot. But that's why I'm curious what alternator is in that car, because
Well, it was probably a diode issue, just like you're talking about, because basically we had the alternator rebuilt and it's back in.
okay, our phone diode is going off. So let's answer it and
Yes.
say, "Hi, caller. You're on with the Motor Mouths."
Boys, welcome back.
Hey, John. Thanks.
Hiya, John.
How are you, Chris?
Doing well, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing good. I know Ray survived adventures in babysitting, but
Yes.
Mostly, yeah, we had a good time. It was hot, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, John, you should be out here at the Cradle of Aviation today, because right out front there is a Corvette show.
oh,
And
really?
Billy Velvet is over there too. He sent me a text yesterday saying, "Hey, I'm going to be right outside your door." I said, "Well, come on in, come into the studio, and I'll put you on." But he's at the. There is a show right there at the Cradle of Aviation as we speak.
Wow.
He's probably running it, knowing Billy. He's probably some sort of official in some capacity.
Right.
In some capacity. But yeah, so what's going on, John?
Not a heck of a lot. I got to yell at Ray because when you were telling about the
I like this.
drain on the TR6,
Yeah.
I texted you and I went, "Yeah, Lucas, the Prince of Darkness."
Yeah.
Prince of Darkness.
Don't let the smoke out.
Yep, there you are.
I
There's your
just cracked
text.
I just cracked open an ice cold beer and I had a mouthful of beer when you went, "Yeah, gee, there's a shock."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's,
And
Lucas has been known, and it's a great company. It really is. But they've been known for problems with their electrics. Like I've been professing, the 60s Fords are miserable with electric at this point in time. Maybe not back in when they were new, but now
Right.
they're terrible.
yeah,
Yeah,
I can agree.
You did the I forgot the alternator on my MGB.
Yeah. Oh, that's a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, in a faraway land.
Well, that was probably a Bosch unit on the MG.
Could have been.
Because the one on my Fiat, Fiat could have had Magneti Marelli, which was also a good electrical company. Right. I heard some had Lucas's, but probably in the earlier years. Mine actually has a Bosch unit on it. And with those units, it's really nice because the regulator and the brush holder, there's two screws on the back of the unit. They come out as one unit. And you can just pop it. You can change it on the car if you had to change the regulator.
Oh, wow.
In those cars. Very, very easy. But
yeah, I don't even remember what you did to my alternator, but yeah, it worked.
So I took it all apart, cleaned it, painted the cases, and then replaced whatever needed replacing. I wasn't in the rebuilding shop at the time, so I guess I must have got parts from somewhere. But I am hooked up now with a rebuilder in Amityville who I knew through the auto electric shop I was in the 70s and 80s. I met the guy again at one of Stan's Corvette meetings this year, and I plan on going out there to see him with some stuff. I have a couple of units I want bench tested before I put them up for sale because they're AMC units that are kind of hard to find these days. And
oh, wow.
I got 3 of them, and I want some money.
No, I don't blame you. That's a great idea.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, the old parts are becoming... And
yes,
even not so old parts are becoming.
I'll tell you something, John. I was just in my chiropractor's office this morning, and one of the guys, my chiropractor calls him Paulie Marauder. Why? He drives a Marauder, right? So
there you go.
Marauder, like the Impala SS, big black car, 4-door. Well, he just said he's going to be selling his Marauder, and I said, "Why? The car's in great shape." I said, "How many miles?" He goes, 197. I'm like, "Well, all right."
Wow.
Yeah, 197,000.
Yeah. What do you use it for? Uber?
Used it all the time. You know, he did it. He used it for what it was intended for. But he told me that car is so specific on parts, he can't get parts for it. And I said, Paulie, what do you mean? He goes, well, the doors, yeah. He goes, everybody thinks Crown Vic parts fit, but he goes, they don't. The doors will. He goes, the windshield does, but there was something different about the tinting. Everything else is different. That car's got a rack in it, rack and pinion, which I didn't know, which you can't get. Rear end parts. He said all the mechanical stuff that you should be able to buy, you can't.
I don't think he's looking in the right spot and not knowing the car from a hole in the wall, because Ford is famous for taking parts off a shelf.
I know. But listen, you know, like we have history with cars in our lives. This guy he was a mechanic in the past, so he knows.
Yeah, okay. He knows more than most.
I mean, he was telling me this stuff face to face, and I'm like, Paulie, what? You can't get what? And he's like, dude, I'm telling you. So I'm gonna actually start looking parts up and see. He said, no, they're just not available because those cars weren't in big production runs, and apparently they had some specialized parts.
Wow.
I got to believe him.
Yeah, no, I totally understand.
Don't restore a Marauder, John. Stick with the Corvette.
No, it's probably easier to find parts for a Model T.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
like I said recently, like I said a few weeks ago, I can get parts easier for my Fiat right now than I can get for some of the American cars because that stuff's all coming from Italy. And there was, tons and tons of stuff.
I tell you, my truck is the same way. I can get parts at Walmart for the
trucks?
For the Cheyenne for the 1500. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're there. I even have a salvage yard, quote unquote. There's a guy that's got like 20 of them in his backyard that he's just picking apart like a salvage yard, and I can go see him, and he's only like 45 minutes away from here.
Very good.
Which is remarkable for any sort of salvage area around here. God forbid. The environmentalists got this area done first.
I just met a girl at a beach party last night who's from New Jersey, Orange, New Jersey, and her grandfather had a salvage yard there since the 50s. Mm-hmm. And he finally sold it off because the property was worth too much. And he sold it off. And I asked her the name of it. Now I forgot it. I don't remember. But she said, he was in business since the 50s. And
he was up here?
In Orange, New Jersey.
Oh, in Orange, New Jersey. I'm sorry.
And I said, wow, that's, I said, the land now is worth more for development than it is. I said, if they do the abatements.
Yeah, right. If the environmentalists dig up all the dirt, yeah.
She said he ran a clean yard, so they really didn't have many problems. But yeah, right. Parts are a problem, John. So if you, like we said, if you need stuff, I'm making lists like for the Toyota of stuff that I want to buy just to have, and just in case I can't find them in another few years.
Mm-hmm.
I think the last call that I was on with you, I told you, I'm buying spare parts for a 20-year-old Corvette.
Right.
Which you could probably buy parts for a 50-year-old Corvette easier than I can for a 20 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because they really cut back on production of parts. They used to make a ton of stuff. Now they cut back because they know that's costing them money to sit on a shelf.
I'll tell you, John, the best thing to do in a situation like this is join a car club, join a Corvette club, because you're all in the same boat now. And I think it's a lot more efficient if everybody is banding together for the same cause instead of everybody doing it by themselves piecemeal. And that's what I've done.
Where that came into play, Chris, when I was in the Impala Club years ago, guys would do that, and we would put together group purchases. So like you get a deal on sway bars, and if and they always had like levels. So 10. If you order 10, you get this price. If you could order between 10 and 20, you get a better price and whatever.
Right.
So you could jump in on those group purchases. I don't know if they're really doing that too much anymore. Now, even because the clubs that I'm around, I see what they're doing. Guys will ask about parts and they'll say, yeah, Google it, look on the internet, see what you can find. That kind of seemed to have gone away.
Yeah, it's that lazy attitude that we all have.
Well, but the knowledge base, though, is there because guys will know maybe. And that's what I did when I was working on the Impala. I had asked Stan at the Corvette Club, because he has an old Impala. I asked him, who do you use for Impala parts? And he turned me on to Classic Industries, which is who I used for some stuff. And he was right. It was a great link. So, again, the knowledge base is, you definitely want to tap.
Still there.
Yeah.
Totally get it. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, but, if they're not making them, you can join whatever club Facebook group. If they're not out there,
right,
you can't get them.
That's right. Very true. Very true.
Right. No, it's the truth. No, I get it.
Cool.
Very good, John.
All right, John.
It's great to hear you guys live again.
All right. Yeah, we try.
I know, but it confuses the heck out of me. I was texting, and I'm like, no, I've heard this before.
I know. Pirate Paul sent me a text last week, and I was like, huh? What the hell? And I think he was listening to the show, and he was replying to something that he heard, and I wasn't listening to the show because, whatever.
I tried never to text you direct at your, I was doing a 203 number. I was like, are you guys live?
Right.
If there's one suggestion I could make, it would be great to. And I was talking to Rob. I was listening to Rob before I was tuned in for probably an hour, and I called in a request to Rob, and I go, "Are Ray and Chris live today?" He goes, "I don't know."
I wasn't in yet. Yeah.
Right.
No,
that's Rob.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a rebroadcast. But I said,
last week. Okay, last week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It could have been last week.
It had to be because I'm here today.
Yeah.
Are we live today? I'm not
I think
sure.
so.
Yeah.
It would be nice before the broadcast. Yeah, this is a previously recorded.
Hey, you know what? There's enough work that goes in to make those things broadcastable work. So don't give me any more work. All right. All right.
We'll have to fool you, John. That's our job.
Go have another slug of that.
Is it live or Memorex?
Right. Go have another slug of that cold one, and we'll try and keep you entertained for the rest of the show.
You guys always do.
All right, John.
Thanks, John.
Don't follow the boys home.
All right.
Right.
All right. So long. All right.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, so the alternator's in, everything is fine, and it's kind of funny. It was nice to work on an old TR6.
Yeah.
Because it's been a while since I've worked on it.
Where did she get the alternator from?
There's a rebuilder that's not far from here that
Okay.
She was able to get it professionally redone.
Do you have any idea what the cost was? I'm just curious.
She said about $160.
That's about right. That's about average. Yeah. Okay.
And I I took the alternator out, gave it to her. I didn't recommend anybody.
Right. Well, obviously she knew where to go.
She knew where to go. Yeah. So
Good for her.
got it done, and I just dropped it back in again. No big deal.
Great.
So so now that's up and running. But yeah, I've been doing that and just working on the Chrysler. I've been working really on a lot of stuff. It's been that sort of week where I think I told you everything goes wrong at once.
Oh yeah.
Everything goes wrong at once. There's always an issue. I got an issue with the Mazda now. It sounds like a propeller.
Oh.
If you're driving this low propeller, and I'm thinking wheel bearing, like I got to put that thing in the air and start jiggling the wheels.
Wait, no, but the wheel bearings is the first way you diagnose it is driving it, because does it increase with speed and lessen with when you slow?
I'd like to say yes.
Because if it doesn't, it's not a wheel bearing.
It disappears.
It's got to be rotational.
Yeah, it disappears. Like you'll hear that whine, like womp. You hear it, and then like at a certain speed, it's gone. I don't know whether it's the window.
Wheel bearing is driving on the Merritt Parkway where there's a divider. Do you have an idea what side it may be?
No. That's
the sound will echo off that divider. I've diagnosed more wheel bearings that way.
I believe it. A lot of times when I was going through wheel bearings with the Explorer, I found that the wheel bearing, whatever wheel bearing was in question, would make the whole truck like amplify inside. Like
it can.
But you didn't know where it was coming from.
Right, exactly.
You didn't know which wheel. You couldn't figure out what side. And yeah, I've been known to snuggle up against the Jersey divider and listen for wheel bearing noises. I got pulled over one time. I did that. I'm on Route 36 in New Jersey, and there's a Jersey divider. Obviously, it goes the length of the road. So I'm leaning up against it. I had the Impala. And I'm leaning up against it. I'm listening. All of a sudden, whoop, whoop, whoop. I look in the rearview mirror and there's a police car behind me. So we pull over. Guy gets out. Young cop comes over to me and goes, I was behind you for like 5 minutes and you didn't get over. And then he says, I look at your car and I'm thinking like you're some sort of sergeant or something.
Yeah.
It's messing with me.
Right.
I said, I had the hands up. I was like, no, no, sir, trooper. I said, I was just checking my wheel bearings. he rolled his eyes at me and went, all right, get out of here. Have a good night. Like he gave me one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
So I'm getting that same propeller noise, and it doesn't happen like when you rev the engine. That obviously doesn't happen in so don't know. Still trying to figure that out. So I was going to put the car in the air, just get each wheel off the ground and just give the wheel a little bump, 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 back and forth. Grab it from the top, grab it from the bottom, try and move it. If everything's rock solid, I'll move on. But I have that I'm working on. I still have my pinging in the Explorer, which is concerning me. That's something that I'm not really happy about.
Was that this Impala?
Wow. Yeah, that was it.
That was that Impala. Yeah.
I don't think you have to worry about a wheel bearing in that thing now.
No. I saw something once on it was, I guess, on Speed Channel. It was when Dave Bowman and Sam Momolo had their show, Two Guys Garage.
I remember those guys. Yeah, they were good.
And they had an issue with a noise they couldn't find. It was on a pickup truck. Right. And what they did was they used a device. It was really simple. They had the truck for the lift. No, that's another way of doing it though. With the wheels off the ground, and it was a bottle like a kind of like the size of a mason jar, filled with water in it, and it was in a holder, and they hung it on the corner of the car. And then they ran the car and went through gears, and they watched the rippling of the water. And when they moved it they found the one corner where it really was jiggling. Bang! That's where they looked.
Oh, wow.
I never saw anybody do that before, but
that's a great idea.
In that case, because they couldn't find it any other way. It was ingenious. Yeah.
And you know how we work. I always say, okay, you hear a noise, wait for it to get worse.
Well, sometimes you have to. Yeah.
Yeah, if you cannot find it, if you can't locate the noise, just wait for it to get worse.
Every time I go down south now and I drive in my daughter's RAV4 and we get in, I'm like, I did a right wheel bearing before she had moved. And now, last time I was in, I was like, you know what? I think that other wheel bearing is making noise. I hear just like, it's like not a growling, not a rumbling, but it's a lower resonant sound.
Yep.
And I said, I got a feeling that other bearing has to be done. So I don't know how I'm going to orchestrate that one because you need some heavy tools. So the thing I want to tell you about the Mazda is, and I'm not 100% sure, that's why I think you should look into it. If the bearing, like the Toyota, the bearing can come out separate of the hub. It bolts into the hub. Right. It's just a matter of getting the axle out and whatnot and the axle nut. But some of the bearings are pressed into the hub. And if the Mazda is pressed in, it can be done at home, certainly if you have a press. Otherwise, the way you do it is you take the whole knuckle off and you bring it to a shop and they will press in and out that bearing. So before you maybe get anxious to try that job, take a look and see if it's a pressed bearing or not.
That's exactly what I did with the Explorer because it was a pressed bearing.
Right.
And that's what I had to do.
There you go.
Yeah, and I was actually told the whole hub assembly was aluminum.
Yeah,
and the machine shop was in fear of pressing that out and snapping the whole yoke in half. So I just went, thank you. And I went to go buy 2 new ones. And that's what I did.
Okay.
I bought 2 new yokes and pushed the bearing in and
the shop was right to tell you that because anything can happen.
Yeah.
They don't know if there's hidden stress cracks or something or, so they have to tell you that up front just in case. Mm-hmm. It's good practice, but 9 times out of 10 they come out, and sometimes I've seen the guys heat them a little bit with a torch, warm them up, and then push them out with the press.
I cannot tell you the amount of calcium around the bearing and the housing. It really was. When you hammer on something and it just does not move.
Yes, I do.
And you're in trouble when the hammer gets bigger and bigger.
I was just talking about that with Kevin yesterday. That's
you're walking over to the tool bench going, this is not going to end well.
Right.
You're covered in sweat and dirt and you're not in a good mood. Your day is officially ruined.
Right.
And you got to walk up to it, grab the big hammer and go back to the car and not hit a fender, not hit a piece of sheet metal or anything else, anything. that will impede the operation of the vehicle.
Yeah, that's
So
where a press comes in handy.
yeah, no, and that's something, and yes, up here I still have to, what would you say, get my cadre of service individuals
Yeah.
together up here because I still don't know. Like I just know that there's a rebuilder here. I just found that out
Yeah.
yesterday.
Great.
You know,
Good to
so
know. Yeah.
yeah, so I need to know where my machine shops
Yeah.
are. It's funny because in the old days, back in the old country, Brooklyn, I had a machine shop right on Coney Island Avenue. So it was a good walk, but it was in walking distance, and I was
Right.
able to, hand stuff over
Yep.
that afternoon, get it back.
I tell you, there's one, up the block, up the corner from me, and when I'm in there for anything, there's always stuff coming and going from that machine shop. He's busy every day. Plus, he
believe
makes
it.
hydraulic hoses and a ton of stuff. But
Yeah.
speaking of hydraulic hoses, it is the bottom of the hour. We need to take our break, and I'd like to say that your WHPC weather forecast is powered by Pantano's Gourmet with locations in Hewlett and Uniondale. And as I look out that WHPC weather window, I see a brick wall because there's a building over there, but I can see the light, and I just came in. So today's weather is nice. It's a high of 82. It's not like the South. It's going to be partly cloudy tonight. We go down to 67. It was actually chilly last night. It was hot in the South, man. It was hot.
I'm sure.
Tomorrow, more sunshine and clouds mixed, a high of 81. And tomorrow night, partly cloudy evening, scattered thunderstorms after midnight, low is 69. So it's nice. The weather is beautiful. And I would like to tell you about a show on this fine station that you might want to listen to. Law You Should Know. You remember that show?
Or the way it's said, literally, it's lore you should know.
Lore You Should Know. Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Do you remember who does that show?
Perry Mason.
No, you'll learn valuable information about the law from attorney Ken Landau.
Ken Landau, of course.
And his expert guests, some of which who may have been incarcerated, I don't know. But his show concerns all areas of the law, including criminal, wills, and real estate. And you can find out about your right to sue and what to do if you are sued by listening to that show. Again, Wednesdays at 3 on WHPC.
Which is what he's going to probably do because he heard me make fun of lore you should know.
But we'll hire him to defend us against himself. So we have an honor group of the hour, Chris.
Yes, we do. The Motor Mouth Radio honor group of the hour this week. If you are one of those proud classic car owners whose ride is always show ready, or you can be ready within maybe a quick wipe of the fenders and a shot of tire shine. While the rest of us are hunting for the bucket vacuum and chrome polish, you can hear the words, "There's a car show in an hour," and be pulling out of the driveway 10 minutes later. Your garages are clean, your detailing supplies are organized, and your cars are always waiting for the next cruise or Saturday morning show. So if you are one of those ever-ready enthusiasts who treat every Sunday like a show day, or every sunny day like a show day, you are part of the Motor Mouth Radio honor group of the hour this week.
Nice. Very good.
There you go.
All right, so we'll take our break. We'll be back with more Motor Mouth Radio with Ray and Chris right after this break on 90.3 WHPC. Let's groove to this a bit.
Don't you know that I'm loving you?
I've been told this is the most explosive episode ever, and we're talking about Motor Mouth Radio. Chris Switzer, Ray Guarino, right now are preparing killer conversation that only you will enjoy. So make sure you're listening. If you have a car question, and actually you should call up if you don't have a car question, because then they can help you. You know, you don't know where the oil goes? They do. You know where the dipstick is? They know where the dipstick is.
I know where the dipstick is.
And so because of that, they could help you out. So listen to Motor Mouth Radio. I guarantee you will enjoy yourself, and you can keep your pants on. So
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar Lifetime Nationwide Warranty, ensuring that the experts at Celebrity Chase Collision are always on your side.
Y sí, hablamos español.
More information is available at 516-593-0920 or online at celebritychasecollision.com.
Hi, this is Butch Patrick, and you're listening to Motormouth Radio, just like me.
And this is George Bears, king of the customizer. Listen to Motormouth Radio. We're on the road.
This is Antonio Huggy Bear Fargas, and you're listening to Motormouth on WHPC 90.3. Nice!
Hey! Woo! He did the best. He did the best. He even got the call. He got the call numbers and everything.
Hey, you, get over here. Every Sunday, 12 to 1, you are going to tune in to hear the Motor Mouths, my friends Ray Guarino and Chris Switzer. 90.3 FM, WHPC. You might learn something.
Yeah, the older guys will appreciate this song.
In the Garden of Eden, baby.
That was the intended name of this song, but the producer at the time, the guy on the board, was so whacked out of his mind that he kept hearing the lyrics as in a Garden of Eden. In a Gata Davida, rather, I'm sorry. That's what he heard, and that's what he wrote on the master tape. And they said, all right, we'll go with it. Why not?
That's for YouTube and licensing, just to let you know.
Oh, this was way before that, though. This was
no, that's so that they can air this program on YouTube.
Oh, ours. Well, I don't know.
They don't flag you.
This may get trapped.
Yeah, it may just.
It may. So, I have trouble every week with that. Yeah, what were you going to say, Chris?
Yeah, so it's been hills and valleys. The Chrysler's running really well, but the Explorer is giving me a little bit of trouble. So it's one of those things. And of course, I'm driving the Camry, and I'm making a right-hand turn, and I hear a left-hand turn, and I hear a click, 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 click from the right-hand side wheel.
I have a bit of a click from the left side of my Camry. And again, I was just talking to Kevin about this. We watch a guy on YouTube called the Car Care Nut, and he does exclusively Toyota videos.
Oh, wow.
He was a Toyota tech, a master tech, and now he was doing videos earlier, a few years ago. I think he was still working at Toyota, and he was doing videos out of his home garage. Since then, he's opened his own shop.
Oh, wow.
And he's a bit of a dealer / Toyota / Kool-Aid drinking / Nazi, where, it's the dealer way of the highway. We all know guys like that.
Got it.
But he did a video this week that I had to share with people because it was just when you learn something, that was so obvious, you're like, oh, that's great. I got to share it. He had a Celica in there, a 95 Celica. Beautiful car, convertible, nice looking car. I forgot how nice.
I like those. Yeah.
So the car came in because there was a noise in the engine, and they felt it was from the AC compressor. So when he opens the hood, I'm like, there's the 2.2 liter 4-cylinder. That's my engine right there.
Yeah, it's a great mill.
So he said, okay. But, he was kind of a little derisive because, actually the tag of the video was that this one, they threw the parts cannon out. Okay, so I figured somebody threw the parts cannon at the car, and now he got it. No, they didn't. And this is where he gets a little obsessive.
Oh.
He pointed out that the car had a rebuilt alternator on it. Not the Toyota alternator, but a rebuilt alternator. I'm like, yeah, so? They really should have gone with the factory part. Yeah, he's one of those guys. But this car had low miles. Even the exhaust wasn't rusted. It was gorgeous. Mm-hmm. So he goes through this. He says, I think this is coming from the AC, front of the AC compressor. He goes,
what was the problem? It just had a noise?
A noise. And he says, the AC works. He says, you know what? The mistake would be changing the compressor, putting an aftermarket compressor in, because this is a factory Toyota compressor that works. I agree with that.
That's your last resort.
When he went to take it out of the car, he took the belt off and said, look, this is actually an original Toyota belt from 95.
Wow.
One of my car may be also.
Right.
He showed the grooves that it was, they was split, but the belt was still good, believe it or not.
I'm sure.
So he puts the compressor on the bench, and he shows that he feels the noise was coming from the front pulley. So what happens is there's a bolt in the center. You take it off, then the clutch comes out from the center, and the pulley slides off, and in that pulley is a bearing. So he put the pulley on his hand and his fingers in the bearing, and he spun it, and he says, you really probably can't hear this. I heard it a little bit. It wasn't miserable, but a little bit. Right. So then he took the new one, and he said, here's a new Toyota pulley. He says, I'll tell you, friends, he says, the compressor is not available OEM anymore. The clutch is not available OEM. He goes, but the pulley is. He says, if you have one of these cars or engines, I recommend you buy one now. It's on my list. I'm going to buy one. Because mine has 125,000 and it's 31 years old.
Right, sure.
So I'm buying one.
Mm-hmm.
So he showed how he put it back together. And he said, now there's usually spacers in between the clutch and the pulley, which is the driving surface. I'm sorry. And he said, I'm going to show you how to measure that. And I'm thinking, this I got to see. Now, this was around, I think the video was about an hour. It was probably around the 30-minute mark. I'm like, the clutch is recessed now in the pulley. I'm thinking, how's he going to get in there? Maybe with a bent feeler gauge? Like, what's he going to use? This was the ingenious part. As soon as his camera cut happened, I saw he had a dial indicator on the bench. I'm like, I know what he's going to do. Mm-hmm. He touched the dial indicator to the front of the clutch and zeroed it. Then with his power probe, which is a great tool we talk about,
right,
he activated the clutch with the power probe, because you can induce power or ground with the power probe. It pulled the clutch in, which made the dial indicator move, and he could see the deflection, how far in it moved. He said the spec is like 20 thousandths, give or take 5. Well, this went to what he did first is there was no shim in the clutch. So he selected one because there's always a shim. I don't know why there wasn't one in there. So he put in one shim. It was the thinnest one, and it let the clutch go in 31 thousandths. He goes, okay, that's out of spec. Plus, it went like click, and it was like click with a second little noise. He goes, no. He goes, will this work? Yes, it'll work. Will it last? I don't know. So now we're going to take that shim out and put a better one in and get it within the 20 thou. He did the second one he put in 18. And he showed something even more ingenious. As he brought that clutch in, you saw the dial indicator, the rod follow it, and you see the needle on the gauge swing. And at the end, it swung and then kind of like jerked a little. He says, you'll get that when the clutch comes in. It like seats. He says, I'm going to show you a trick. He activated the clutch. The dial indicator came in. The dial swung to like about 20 thousandths. He says, now zero the gauge with the clutch engaged, and then release the clutch. And when the dial indicator rod came out, you watch the swing go the negative direction.
The negative way.
And it went negative 18. He goes, now I know. He goes, you want to do it on the back swing, not the front. And I thought that was worth the price of admission. That was ingeniously brilliant. And he also was looking off screen at a computer screen for what the spec was. So he must have some Toyota database. I don't know if that, I want to see if that spec is available. AC clutch spacing.
Something completely irrelevant.
So again, you have to watch, I like to watch guys like that because they're dealer trained. You were talking about, knowledge base.
Yeah.
This guy is dealer trained. When he went under the car, he was giving us a walk around. He says, look, this car has aftermarket axles also. And I know from previous videos, he said, don't ever get rid of Toyota axles. There's nothing better. He goes, if you have a bad boot, change the boot. He went as far in an FJ that had a bad boot to change the boot and leave the factory grease because he felt it was superior to, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh.
All right. So listen, you got to I give him a little bit of a wide berth here.
Wow.
It's like, listen,
I've actually done that
on I'm changing the grease, dude.
Yeah, I've done that on a Honda Civic. I only changed the boot.
You can.
Yeah, I just changed the boot. I did not change the because the boot split, but the axle was still good. With this one, with this Camry, the boots are good.
Yeah.
But the axle's clicking.
It's the CV joint.
Yeah, I know.
I get the same thing on mine, yeah.
But the boots are good. Usually it's the other way around. The boot splits, the grease disappears, spits out, through the crack in the boot, and that's when the CV joint fails.
That's the clutch. That's the AC compressor on my Mazda 3 with the clutch removed. So that's the driven surface. It actually has a friction disc on the inside.
Okay.
Little different. And then when you replace it, it looks like that. Nice and clean.
Better look at this on YouTube, gang, because Ray's showing pictures.
And that's the actual driven part. That you really can't see. There's a ring of like clutch material.
Right.
The camera
sits low on the engine, I'm assuming.
Oh, it is, yeah, because there it is assembled. There's the AC compressor. Under that thing above it is the crank pulley.
Right. Oh, that's the crank pulley is above that?
Yeah, so this was all done through the wheel well. I did it all through the wheel well of the car because you can't get it from the top.
Right.
So
that's which cracks me up. They put the AC compressor on the bottom.
You know what? No, I worked on an Avalon. Oh my God, I got to picture that one too. I had to change the compressor on an Avalon, and you couldn't get it out. It was because the compressor was on the engine when they put the cradle in the car, so you couldn't get it out from the bottom, and it was trapped on the top. Actually, Mike was at the shop that day. It was his cousin's car. I said, Mike, I don't know what to do. I don't want to drop this cradle. He disassembled the whole front end of the car. I remember
you showing me pictures of it. Yeah.
He took all of that apart and some of the inner structure so that I could weasel it out by like a fraction of an inch.
Wow.
That was some cars that just made, like I said, they're assembled and then put together, and that's reverse. You reverse but the Celica, it did come right. My car too, Camry, it would come right out if I had to remove it.
Mm-hmm. It's funny we talk about air conditioning. We talked about that tool that was supposed to remove the Schrader valve from the air conditioning system and kept the gas in it. I've tried to order 2 of those tools.
Really?
And I found that the tool that I ordered showed up and it had the shaft on both of the tools, like the low pressure side and the high pressure side. The shafts were both the same size.
Okay.
And on the truck, the hole for the low pressure side is much smaller.
Yeah, right. It always is.
So I had to send that one back.
Yeah.
So I went to another guy who had 2 different size, what would you say, Schrader valve extractor.
Right.
And I ordered it from him, and I got something totally different. It was like a statue. It wasn't even close to what I had ordered. So I reached out to him, like, dude, you sent the wrong thing. So he says, all right, send it back to me. I'll give you your money back. And like, I didn't even want to argue with the guy. I was like, all right, fine. So I'm still on the hunt for that tool.
Okay. I don't hate to say it because it's fact. And not knowing where you ordered it from, I can take a good guess.
Amazon. Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
The tool truck guys, Brian has that tool on his truck.
I'm sure.
And that's when Mike got his. He got his, I think, probably from the Snap-on guy. The tool truck guys have the right tool. Amazon is sketchy sometimes with stuff like that. And
and that's the problem with like what we're talking about, where knowledge is become the value. Because I wasn't aware of this when I ordered it. I just ordered it thinking, oh, they're all the same. That's the thought in your head. And then when you get it, you're like, wait a minute, they're not the same.
Well, you should know, whenever you put a gauge set on, there's always, you got your red and your blue. There's always 2 different size.
Not this one.
They're always, I'm sorry, on the car, they're always 2 different sizes.
Oh, yes, on the car.
That's so you can't mix them up. That's
right.
So you can't do it the wrong way. So, I made a post the other day when I was down at my daughter's. My son-in-law tells me the Volvo that we got on the XC90. He goes, it rained and the passenger floor is filled with water. I mean, I'm wet backing it out. I'm like, oh, really?
Yeah, I saw the pictures on Instagram.
Yeah, and I'm looking, and I said, it's got to be the sunroof drain. It's got to be.
You got a little swimming pool going on.
Well,
there.
Volvo did something really weird. The hoses that come from the sunroof drain they're pretty fatter than the ones I've seen on the Mazdas. Right. I bought it. I'm in North Carolina. I go on my phone. I go to Amazon. I buy a sunroof cleaner because I just saw, I think it was Kenny Wessel, Wrenching with Kenny had used one. They sell a kit. It's about a 8-9 foot long, very thin green wire with a little brush on the end. It's got a loop on the other end so it won't go down the hole.
Nice.
Stops. And they also give you a little plunger with a hose so you could inject water or something down at a low pressure.
Oh, great.
I want to use a compressor. And it was like $10. I ordered it, came to my daughter's house the next day. Beautiful for Amazon.
Nice.
So, and then I go out there and I'm snaking the sunroof drain, and I get like all 9 feet of this thing down, and I'm like, I don't see anything coming out the bottom of the car. Then I look, it was curled up on the dashboard. I'm like, how did it get there?
What?
Well, I pull the A pillar.
What was curled up on the dashboard?
The tool, the snake.
Tool.
The snake, yeah. So I pull the A pillar trim off, and that hose from the sunroof drain comes down the A pillar. And then what they do is it doesn't just continue down. It's on the inside of the car on the A pillar, but the A pillar trim covers it. Right. Then the hole in the A pillar, there's about a 1/4-inch hole, and Volvo used a rubber 90-degree fitting that fit into the hole, and then the tube slid into the top part of it like a pipe.
I'm looking at the pictures right here on Instagram right now, and I see the hole you're talking about.
So, surprisingly, that fitting was in place on the right side, unless it came apart when I didn't see it. Because when I took the left side apart, that fitting, I took it out, and the piece of the rubber L that goes into the A pillar, it just fell apart. So that one, there's no way that could go back. So I just had to take the hose and pull it and stretch it and shove it into the hole. That was Volvo's greater idea for sunroof drains, but I'm hoping that fixes the problem. We won't know till it rains, I guess. But
right. I'm assuming it did not rain while you were there.
No, but what I did is then I went over to my daughter's RAV4. I said, you know what? Let's snake this one too while I'm here. There's no problems with it, but let's do it.
Right.
So, I snake it, and I like to pour water into the drain and verify that it comes out. So I saw it was a little sluggish on the passenger side. So I roll under the car. And now, of course, this time I brought minimal tools with me.
Right. So you got nothing.
So I couldn't see where the water was coming from. It comes up like between the body panels. But while I was there, I kind of pulled the fender liner away from the rear opening of the wheel well. And I put my fingers up there, and I'm pulling out crud, leaves and dirt and debris. And I had more so from the other side. I had a pile. And I told my son-in-law, I said, this is what happens when you park under trees. And down there, there's nothing but trees and bushes and whatever. I said, this is why a car needs to be inside. I said, because that stuff, even though that didn't impede the sunroof drain, that'll lay. And when it gets wet, that's what's going to rust out the bottom of the fender and the rocker panel. So, I pulled out 2 handfuls of glop, and amazing, and that's something I told him. I said, Kevin, even those of us who do a lot of preventive maintenance on our cars and look at things. That's why that's why I told my daughter, I was always insistent she should open the hood and clean the cowl area. Just blow, just get the leaves and junk off of there. That's one of my pet peeves when I see that. I said, because that's what gets down there.
Also, do the area around the trunk.
Yes.
Because that fills up with crap. And it even on the Camry, it filled up with so much crap that it raised the trunk from the rubber seal. And the trunk filled with water.
That's excessive. Yeah, that's excessive.
So I had to clear all that out and literally drain the trunk because it was filled with water.
And I told him, I said, nobody, even the guys like us who do preventive maintenance, go in there and clean out the bottom of their fenders. I said, I will do it, especially when the car's on the lift. I'll get a look at it.
I'll grab a garden hose, open the door, and spray it right in there.
Right. That's a good tactic. Or I'll use the air hose. I said, so most people are never doing that. Look, people aren't checking the tire pressures. I got him doing that, though. I said, but the trunk, I mean, if you have a car, I even got you to do it, so I know it works.
Yeah, true.
With a car with a trunk, you do open that thing. I mean, there it is. I mean, a lot of people never open their hood. I get it.
Right.
You open the trunk, whether you're putting groceries in, out, getting a bag, you got to see that stuff, and people they just ignore it.
They just leave it alone.
All you got to do is just swoosh it away.
That's it.
Not a big. Take your snow brush that you're not using and just brush it away.
I can't tell you how packed that was. That trough.
I believe
between the sealant, the rubber sealant, and what would you say, the body of the car?
Yes,
packed.
I believe it.
Couldn't believe. Yeah, it was coming off in like bricks.
Yeah, no,
that's how I was taking it off. So,
so I had an issue this time. That first time for me, I had rented a car, as I always do. I rented a GMC Terrain, which is exactly what I rented in May. I thought it was the same vehicle from the same place, in fact, but it wasn't. Same year, same color, same everything. But this one had a check engine light. Remember I told you that it had a check engine light and the tranny was acting up. Well, the tranny acted up worse. It went into limp mode at one time when I was coming out of my daughter's driveway. And I said,
Jesus.
I gotta return this car. What an ordeal. I'll spare you the story of how many phone calls I had to make to just make sure things were done right, which they weren't. They ended up giving me a 2026 Honda Ridgeline pickup truck.
Wow.
Which they didn't want to let go because it was a brand new vehicle tagged in North Carolina. And they said, wow. So I said, I know. I said, you want this one back? I said, well, it's coming with me.
You ain't getting it.
And when I rolled into the Enterprise here to return it, the guy's looking at me. He says, who are you? Give me your phone number. He looks at my contract. He says, yeah, what's going on? I said, well, I'm returning a car. He goes, yeah, what? I said, I had to do a switch down in North Carolina. He goes, yeah, I saw the Ridgeline roll in. He goes, I knew it wasn't one of ours. I said, it is now. I said, if you can hang on to it for another couple of months, I'll be renting it again. Nice truck. I tell you, not as good on gas overall, but very, very nice. Accoutrement-wise and comfort-wise, beautiful. Very, very nice truck to drive. So I highly recommend it. Yeah. But yeah, I brought my King Bolin scanner. I went to get into that GMC again. The King Bolin let me see the codes or see the trouble codes that were there, but it wouldn't let me access any of them.
That to me is remarkable. And that's our fear. Yeah, that's the fear for what's to come in the future, how that right to repair is being violated.
Well, I understand that they put something in line which you can remove. They probably do that, so it's probably across the board, but they probably do it so you can't take a new Challenger or Corvette and then put a special tune in it and go to the drag strip, But I'll tell you one thing: when I was talking to Enterprise, the mothership, and I told the girl, I need to bring this thing back. I'm looking for a local location. And she goes, okay, do you mind if I access your vehicle's location to see where it is? I said, no, go right ahead. And she told me where I was because that car talks back to the mothership. They know exactly where it is. And I said, that's... So if they know where it is, they know how fast it's going. They know if it's upside down, they know all of that stuff too.
Yep, sure do. They sure do. You're absolutely right. And it's paying for your privacy now. That's what it's going to be. Your privacy is no longer free. You're going to have to pay for it because your privacy is not going to be there for long. And I hate to sound that way, but it's frightening. It's frightening. There's a lot of things that I'm a little apprehensive about buying new vehicles that we discussed. We discussed it with Carl. And it's something that's worth visiting often. The right to repair and the technology. It's just
our privacy is over for this week because we have to go.
Yeah,
Tim's coming in to do Thunder Road, Best of Springsteen, the band, which you love more than us, so you need to stay tuned.
Of course.
What do I tell the people waiting for me by my Toyota, my 31-year-old gem in the parking lot, Chris?
Don't follow us home unless you got a pair of white pants and matching white shoes.
You got it. So for Chris Switzer, Ray Guarino, we'll be back with more Motormouth Radio next Sunday here on 90.3 WHPC. See ya.
Thank you both for listening. See you. Bye.
This show on 90.3 WHPC is brought to you by CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision, with 2 locations in Limerick and Oceanside, who remind you that New York state law says you always have the right to choose which shop will fix your car. CarStar Celebrity Chase Collision offers a full range of services, 24-hour towing between Montauk and Manhattan, shuttle service, and they can help you with a rental car arrangement if needed. All repairs include the CarStar Lifetime Nationwide